Welcome back to another video, guys. And if you clicked on this video, then you want to know why I have stopped investing in Melbourne. Now, for those of you who have been following and watching my channel for the past 18, maybe 24 months, you know that I have been a big advocate of Melbourne, of Victoria, because it was a very counter-cyclical opportunity to go for when I started this YouTube channel. However, at this point in time, it's making less and less sense to actually invest in Melbourne. And I'm not talking about regional Victoria, I'm talking about Melbourne as a state. And there's a couple of reasons why, and I'm going to detail that for you in this video. Now, I want to note as well, this video has been recorded before May 12th budget, which means that if negative gearing is abolished, it just makes things worse for investors who are looking to buy in Melbourne. And the first thing I want to show you guys is the core logic or the totality mapping the market AU. And if no one actually uses this, I suggest you go and have a look at this website because it gives you a very good visual representation of what is happening to house prices across Australia. In each state, it breaks it down for you in a very visual manner. And using this site, what I like to look at is actually look at the 12-month change. Now, when you look at the 12-month change of Melbourne, you can see a lot of North Melbourne, East Melbourne, West Melbourne has all been growing in value pretty rapidly, almost about 10, 12, 20% plus growth in some of these locations. And some of my community members who have purchased in these locations 18, 12 months ago have made a lot of money. They've seen their $550,000 investment go to about 750, even high 700s. And you can see parts of inner Melbourne also have risen in value as well. But then you look at the blue chip locations of Melbourne where, you're talking high $800,000, $900,000 with 2-3% yields, you can see it's in the red tone. But the more interesting metric you want to look at is actually the 3-month change. And I know you can't see it on the screen, but I'll just click on that now. And you can actually see that a lot of Melbourne has actually started to either drop in value or stagnate. Now, you're mostly seeing stagnation and there's a slight adjustment in value across these locations, across North Melbourne, across a lot of the east side blue chip locations of Melbourne. And this is very important to note because what we have seen that over the past 18 months, we've seen immense price growth in across these locations. And what that has caused is that yields have started to compress in these locations. Now, if I show you some examples of where investors have been buying, you can see locations like Sunshine West have risen about 20% in growth, but they've also dropped about 11% in yield. And so now if you're buying in today's market, you're achieving a property price of $800,000, $900,000, but a yield of 3%, which is just extremely low. You look at Meadow Heights, for example, it's gone up 15% from 550 all the way up to about 700, 750, and you're seeing yields of 3.58%. We were buying when there were yields of 4.5 plus above 5% in some pockets, which was just incredible for a capital city. But now the yields are 3.5%. You look at Pakenham, for example, it's doing very well and it's going to continue to do well, I think, in my opinion, with about 10% growth, but its yield is only 3.56. You look at Sunbury, once again, another simple example where the median price has elevated from the low 600s to high 700s to mid 800s, and now you're only getting about a 3.4% yield. And if you're wondering why I'm harping on about yield, is because yield is incredibly important when you're talking about building an investment portfolio. When you're thinking about buying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 properties. When you start off at a low yield base, say 3.4%, 3%, maybe even 2%, it will take about 7 to 10 years, maybe even longer to actually get that property to positive. And the lower the yield you start off with, the lower your serviceability will become for future properties. There is a big difference between buying a $600,000 asset at 5% than buying a $800,000 asset at 3%. It will significantly damage your serviceability, which means that will take longer for you to access more money to buy more properties. And so if you're just starting out investing or you're just starting to look at Melbourne, unfortunately, you're a bit late to the party. And I know there are other BAs buying right across Werribee, Melton South, and things like that, but they don't explain the full story to the investor about the yield equation when it comes to building a portfolio. Now, of course, there are going to be certain types of investors who can can weather those low yields because they're on extremely high incomes. They may have business income, but the average punter on $100,000 dual income isn't going to be able to service one or two properties more if they're buying at 2-3% yields across Melbourne. And before I go further into the analysis in this video of Melbourne, if you haven't already, jump in the private community. I talk about these things on a daily basis. I break down locations on a daily basis. I provide suburb watch lists on a quarterly basis. I have templates, calculators, resources available to members at a finger's touch so that you can break down your portfolio. You can pick the right assets so quickly and get the help you need so quickly that it makes complete sense to jump in for $35 a month, guys. If you are afraid to try it out for 1 month, then you're not ready to purchase a $600,000, $700,000, $800,000 asset. So get in before the price jumps, guys, and let's get back into the video. Now, the best way I always find is to show a visual representation of this. Now, if you have a look at this property, 6 Dalapura Drive, Sunshine West, and I've probably absolutely butchered that name, so please don't come for me in the comments. When you look at this property, it's a very nice brick home, great interior, well maintained. It looks perfectly rentable, and I don't see any real issues with it. So it's a nice home, sold on the 4th of May for $800,000. Now, when you go and look at the rental properties in Sunshine West, you can see a 3x2 is $730. You can see a 3x1 is $425, but the interior is much older. This is 3x1 for $500. The interior is still on the older side compared to the one that I selected. Again, a 3x1 is $475, a little bit older, $550, but the interior is much nicer. So this is more of an accurate representation of what that property here could possibly be rented out for. And when we start to put the numbers in, $795,000 at a 20% deposit, you're about $160,000 in, which means that's a lot of money to put on a property. So that decision has to be important. Now, when you calculate the stamp duty, you can put that into the calculator. $795,000 for Victoria as an investment established home is about $45,000. And if you put the rent per week at $550, you're getting around a 3.6% yield. And you've also got stamp duty to factor in, and I'm going to put around $2,000 for this property. And so what that does to your cash flow is that before any tax considerations, you're around negative $21,000. So imagine if you're a $100,000 salary and you have to fork out another $21,000 to service your property. How would that make you feel? Because this is incredibly important. When you take $21,000 out of your budget, out of your lifestyle, that has a significant impact on the quality of life you lead, as well as how much you can save, as well as how much you can invest, as well as what your kids can afford to do and enjoy. And this is important. I don't think it's talked about enough. Now, if we have negative gearing and we have the tax depreciation benefits, then you're only about negative $13,000 per year, which is a lot better and a lot more manageable, especially when you're talking about buying 2 or 3 more properties, but it's still not the best. Now, will this property grow in value? Most likely it will continue to grow value. It will double and triple over the next 10, 20, 30 years, and you'll be sitting on an amazing property, amazing value. But during that time, you do have to factor in how much you are going to impact your portfolio journey. Now, if you take this same property, for example, and you found it somewhere else and you got maybe $650 in rent, at a 4% yield, you're about negative $16,000 before tax and around negative $10,000. Not the best, but much better in my opinion. Now, if you go that one step further and you go at better locations and you purchase at $700,000 at a 4.5% yield, you're only around a negative $8,000 in cash, which is much better. Now, if you do what I advise a lot of my community members to do, is look for the 4.5 to 5% yields. You just get that one step better and you're around negative $7,000 after tax considerations, around negative $10,000, $11,000 before tax consideration. It's still a lot of money, but a much better position to be in than compared to $550 at 3.6% yield, which is just going to absolutely eat away not only at your lifestyle, but at your serviceability as well. And you're finding this right across Melbourne Metro, and it's not just Sunshine West, it's across North Melbourne, West Melbourne, East, Sunbury, etc. Now, there is someone going to be in the comments be like, I found the deal for 6%. Okay, sure, I don't really mind. But the average investor, the average punter that I have seen securing deals in Melbourne, and not just average investors, I'm talking about buyers agents as well, and they're proudly advertising this. They're buying properties for $600,000, $700,000 across Melbourne Metro, Melton South, Melton, but they're buying them at 3.5%, 3% yields, which from a scalability perspective for that investor does not make sense. It will harm their journey, both in the short term and the long term, and it will affect opportunity cost. And this is really important to understand. Now, I want to be very clear. This is about Melbourne CBD, Melbourne Metro. There are still areas across regional Victoria which I consider are still good for investment purposes, but not for long. And I've covered those locations in other videos, so please go check them out. And by the way, this example puts it into real contrast for you. Now, imagine in May 12th budget, which will most likely happen, the fact that there will be no more negative gearing for future properties, you will have to stomach that 21 grand every single year until your rental situation gets better. And that's going to hurt you. And that will also cause a lot of Melbourne to become quite uninvestable unless you have really good buffers and really good cash flow and really, really, really good income. Because most of Melbourne now, it's 2, 3, maximum 4% yields. And when you take away negative gearing, it's going to be very hard for an investor to purchase. And they're going to look for higher yielding opportunities in other regional locations and other property types. This will push more investors to apartments. And I think apartments in the right locations will start to increase in value, driven by investors, driven by owner occupiers, because there is a stark affordability when it comes to apartments and houses in Melbourne. But there is also one more thing I want to talk about. If you are buying a principal place of residence in Melbourne right now, I think it's probably one of the best opportunities to purchase one. If you're buying this as a PPOR, it's an $800,000 brick home in a capital city of Australia. No matter what you think, that is absolutely incredible value for a person who wants to live in Melbourne. And you can find $650,000 homes in Werribee. You can find $750 in Pakenham. You can find $750 in North Melbourne. But that sort of price point is absolutely incredible value when you think about it comparatively against Queensland and especially Sydney. And I do think these house prices are still going to go up. It might not accelerate as fast as it did over the past 18 months, but this will be driven a lot more by owner occupiers, but the investors will start to tap out because they can no longer afford to hold these assets. And that will put more stock on the market. It will increase the rental pressure, but it will give a great opportunity for those people who are trying to buy a PPOR, because you can now save on 50 grand on stamp duty and also purchase an 800k home, which is absolute value in comparison to Sydney and Queensland. And so I want that point to be made as well. So while I'm personally not really looking as Melbourne as an investment location anymore, for the reasons stated in this video, plus the May 12 budget likely will abolish negative gearing on some respect, it doesn't really make much sense to continue purchasing in Melbourne. Those investors who have already bought there, I suggest you continue holding your assets because you've bought on good yields, in my opinion, and you've bought in a good location, then you're going to do well in the long term. And I always recommend people holding assets for the long term unless you have a specific reason to diversify or sell. Now, there is some pockets in regional Victoria which still are attractive, but not for long. I hope this video has helped you align my thoughts on what I think of Melbourne. And if you need help picking the right locations to invest in, to jump into the private community, because this is something I talked about in the community almost 3 months ago in a post about the risks of Melbourne and about what you should be thinking if you are to invest into Melbourne. So I help out members on a daily basis pick the right locations to make sure they avoid making the same silly mistakes I see BAs and other investors push them into. Just because Melbourne was growing doesn't mean it will grow. Just because a location has continued to grow for a long time doesn't mean it'll stop growing. And you need the right advice to make sure you are purchasing the correct investment assets. So if you have any questions at all, jump in the private community. Till next time, thank you very much.